Hello and welcome to Simudan. Today I'm having my first proper flight in Flight Simulator 2020. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to fly from Shoreham to Lydd, taking in Brighton Pier on the way, and I'm going to deviate from this route slightly and actually come around this way, take in Beachy Head, Eastbourne. I should see Hastings on the way as well, and hopefully we should get a few good sights. I'm flying today a Cessna 152. Now it is probably quite important to note, this is going to be my first flight. I've not even done the training. I just wanted to jump straight in, which is probably the most stupid thing I could do, and I'm well aware of that. But this is the way I'm going to do it, just to basically give it a go. I played Flight Simulator 98 back in the day, but that's about the only thing I've ever done. Now I'm going to keep it with live weather of what it was about midday today. 12:03, that'll be fine. Keep multiplayer off. Live traffic, so this is actual aircraft in the real world. It takes data from online and GPS trackers on real life aircraft, and it then places it in the game so that you actually see what's going on. And I could set the weather to live, but instead I'm going well, it is sort of live, but I think if I did that, there you go, it's going to be not so nice. So I'm going to go clear skies, and we'll keep it as that. Okay, now let's hit fly. Gonna go straight from the runway. I'm not gonna go from, because you can go from basically, I don't know what the proper name is for it, but the parking bay, if you like, of the aircraft. If I do that, it starts the plane cold. I'd have to go through a whole startup, and let's face it, it's not very interesting for a video such as this. So I'm gonna go straight from the runway, go straight for the takeoff, and see how I fare. Right, let's fly. Right, so here I am, ready to fly at this out of Shoreham now. So everything's all set up and ready to go. So I'm actually using an Xbox controller for this, and the reason I'm doing that is because I wanted to make sure that I actually had something to control the U with. I don't own a joystick, and I didn't really want to use the keyboard, and it's just a lot more ergonomic to use something like the thumbstick on the controller. So that's what I'm using. So let's give this a go. It already says so the air traffic controller's already cleared me to leave. So let's release the parking brake. Full throttle. Let's pull into the side. Alright, here we go. Come on. There we go. Oh, I got it, I think. A bit jolty. But I'm there. I'm going up. Go. So I want to be heading east, which is over that direction. So let's go. I don't know what they're trying to tell me. Okay, apparently I need to press F5 to retract the flaps. Right, we'll minimise that for a minute. So there you go. We'll just follow this coastline along now. Hopefully we'll find where we're going. There's Shoreham down there. Right, let's reduce that throttle a little bit. See what happens. So here I've got my cruising speed of about 80. Which is about fair enough, I think. Still climbing slightly here on the altitude, but doing okay. Looks pretty nice down there. So this is actually on the medium graphics setting. My computer is fairly good, but I wouldn't say it's the most amazing thing in the world. It's probably a mid-range machine. So medium graphics run, as you can see, fairly smoothly on this. I'd say for most people the game should run okay. Obviously just make sure you meet those minimum requirements. Telling me I'm going too fast. So far, so good. I seem to have good control of this. I think there up ahead of us is Brighton Pier, and the new tower they've built there. Can't remember what it's called. If it's the I-360 or something like that. So maybe let's cut across over this way a little bit. And see out to sea there as well.
Cessna 271, you are leaving my airspace, frequency change approved.
That's trying to tell me something. Okay, let's acknowledge that. No idea what any of this is. I guess do that one. Actually coming down at the moment. No, I don't want to do that. Who knows what I want to do there? Right. So I think any landmark that you can actually pinpoint on your nav point is, as a nav point, is actually handcrafted. However, the rest of it is all just taken straight from Bing Maps and then computer generated. And I've done a fairly good job. I know Brighton fairly well. This kind of looks like Brighton. Looks like they've just made a tower block there rather than cause essentially that is just one big pole that then has something like a rotunda thing that climbs around it. Let's go on the outside. There you go. So there's actually a nifty little feature which is live pause, which stops the plane where it is without having to do anything. And there we go, there's the pier down there, Brighton Pier. And just ahead of us, over on the horizon there, you can see Brighton Marina and the cliffs going further and further on. So if we follow on, and we'll see what we can find. Alright. Boy. So I think, looking at the marina walls are actually looking pretty flat. We'll take a bit of a risk and see how low we can go and have a look at that. I'll be interested to see actually how it handles the cliffs at Beachy Head a little bit later, because it's all taken from satellite imagery. I'm not sure how well it will figure it out and depict it. It might just be that the cliffs are green. Like, they're white there, which is true to life. They're white along here. I'm not following their heading, so they can. We'll ignore that for now. So Rottingdean School, just down there. There's a bit of traffic moving around. So it's a pretty beautiful simulator, really. It's not I think that's a golf course down there, if I remember correctly. I know it better from the ground. So they reckon you can actually go and find your house on here. I'm not going to do that, I'm just finding landmarks along the way that I know. So like down there is the Saltdean Lido, a little swimming pool, outdoor swimming pool with changing facilities. It's only just recently opened back up again, so very Art Deco. Sort of getting a glimpse of what that looks like from up here, but I mean the buildings are a rough estimate of what's down there. They're not completely accurate, but they're not completely inaccurate either. Actually quite impressed with the way it's rendering. And the way this works is obviously if they dumped the whole map of the whole world on your computer on the first install, it would just take up a ridiculous amount of hard drive space. So what they do is they actually stream all of this from the internet. So you this is just all streamed data, so as you fly it streams, and it saves the data onto your hard drive, and you can set how much hard drive space you want on there, and then it starts overriding it as you progress over that data cap. Let's get rid of these checklists, we don't need those up there. That out of the way, get a better view. Right, so I think this down here is Saltdean, if I remember. There's so many deans all the way along this stretch, and I can't remember which one's which. And then over there, I think this is Newhaven, just coming up, where there is a ferry port, and you can catch a ferry from here over to France somewhere over the horizon there, in Beachy. So, used to actually work in Newhaven. The reason I actually chose this particular flight path was because this is an area I know quite well, so I can sort of see how well they've rendered things, how well things are actually true to life. So as we come down here, so the ferry port is that bit there. Let's go have a closer look. This is Newhaven Fort, which is passing over. So the ferry port, I think, is... There we go, you can actually see the ferry under the water, strangely enough, but good enough attempt. I'd say it's taken straight from Bing Maps in their satellite imagery. So, and then they try and figure out what the buildings might look like in reality. So it's not completely accurate, but it's a lot better than a lot of other flight simulators. I think in Flight Sim 98, all they had was basically a town would be a grey patch, and the rest of it would be green, and that's how you knew where you were. So, I think in a minute we'll be passing over, unless we already are, we might already be, passing over Seaford. It's hard to tell from up here. I know it quite well from the ground, but I don't know it quite well, so well from the sky. I think this is the rail track down there. I think this is Seaford Station. So yeah, there, and there's Seaford High Street and the library. So there's Seaford. So after Seaford, what you actually get is the Seven Sisters Cliffs, including one of those Seven Sisters is Beachy Head. So when we get over to Beachy Head, what we should see is a lighthouse on top of the cliff, and the newer lighthouse down the bottom. Be interesting to see whether whether either of those lighthouses has just been put in as an office block, or whether it actually looks fairly realistic. We'll see when we get there. Look at those trees. This is on medium graphics as well. So nice. So in reality, I'm not actually allowed to fly a plane at all. Never ever will be allowed to get my pilot's license, and the reason for that is that I'm colourblind, and if you're colourblind you're not permitted to fly at all. Now here you've got the meandering river, Seven Sisters Country Park. Looks absolutely beautiful. I mean, even this doesn't do it justice. It's more beautiful in real life, but you've got to admit, even on a game like this, it does look rather pleasant. Yeah, so the white cliffs are looking less white and more green, but I don't think I've really expected anything different, if I'm honest. It's a good attempt. If I were to handcraft every inch of the world, it would just be utterly ridiculous. It would just take them so long, and it would take up so much hard drive space. So actually this is not a bad alternative way of doing it. Do this. See if we can find Lydd in this list yet. Not just yet. So here we are going around the head of the cliff. So this here is Beachy Head. I think if we go down close, look at those nice scratch marks and everything on the windows. They put so much attention to detail in. It's pretty nice. I think this in front of us is the lighthouse on the top, although I could be wrong. No, I think I am wrong. I think I might be a bit further up. Miles further up, I think. Go back out this way. Might in fact be that building over there, in which case I haven't done as well as I might have hoped. So what it actually is now somebody's house, and the lighthouse itself is just a tower poking out from basically a building. So yeah, that would have been the old one there. So it's not, you wouldn't know that's a lighthouse at all from here, which is a bit of a shame. Is that it? I don't know. Right. Let's pause that there. Have a look around. So I think that behind us down there, I think that is the other lighthouse. which actually pokes out quite significantly, so it's a bit of a shame we can't see that the way it is in reality, but there you have it. And then this over here we're about to fly over is Eastbourne. So we'll go over Eastbourne, have a look, see how well that's been developed. That's actually a pub over there, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, I'm at risk of overspeeding now. Let's pull that throttle back a bit. Have a look. So this is Eastbourne. I think that over there might be the main shopping centre. And there's several hotels all the way along the coastline for Eastbourne. We're getting dangerously close to the ground now. Dangerously close. Quite possible that's the main shopping centre, I'm not sure. I'm honest, I'm a little bit lost. Ah, there we go, and there, this little weird marking in the sea is the pier. Not looking very pier-like at all. A sunken pier. And over there you've got so that's actually an extension of the Seven Sisters, or the South Downs, which Seven Sisters are a part of. You've got Butts Brow over the way there. It's not utterly disappointing, it's quite. This is Prince's Park. It's got a or it used to be a boating lake, this. I don't think boats go out on it anymore. I could be wrong. I don't know. Now that is interesting. So these over here, take a bit of a detour. Those in the distance were only built in the last couple of years, but obviously Bing Maps is up to date enough that it puts it in. So what will happen is, as you fly around in a simulator, things will get built in. So as Bing Maps is updated, so this game will be updated also. I'm hoping as time goes on as well they'll also start handcrafting a few more landmarks, but perhaps if that happens we might end up having to pay for them. Who knows? So I don't know if you know about the pricing point on this game, but it's fairly expensive. So the version I've got here is the standard edition, which if you have the Game Pass, Microsoft Game Pass, you actually get as part of that Game Pass. And if you don't already have Game Pass, I think you get the first month for something like £1, so it's not too bad, and I think it's about £7.99 after that. So it's not too bad, and that's how I've managed to get the game. Quite frankly, I'm not really wealthy enough to pay the £70 for the deluxe, or I think it's 110, 120 for the ultra deluxe, or whatever they want to call it. And the difference in what you get is that you get more handcrafted airports and you get a few more planes to fly around in, but I'm you still get a fair amount in the standard edition, so I'm not overly disappointed. A little bit of a frame rate drop there. I think probably just rendering something new in. So we fly over. So this down here is Bexhill. I haven't spent an awful lot of time in Bexhill. So what happens here is it comes down, and then so that is like a Haven caravan park there, I believe, and then this is sort of a bit of a weird stretch. Oh no, this might be it. I think that might be Haven caravan park down there, and then you're coming in St Leonard's in a minute. Of course, I could be utterly wrong. So it's difficult to tell from the sky. Used to seeing it from the ground. So in Hastings there's a building on the seafront. This is Hastings coming up here. There's a building on the seafront that is supposed to be shaped like a ship, and from a distance as you come around on the road it actually looks as if there could be a ship sort of out in the sea just round the corner. Interesting to see how that's been put in on the game, but as with the details I've seen so far, I'm not holding up too much hope that it would be ultra detailed, but should be good enough to recognise which building is which. If anyone has any ideas of where else they might like me to fly over and have a look at, then please let me know, and I'll happily take a punt at a few different places. Can't say I'd be as detailed in what I know of an area, but who knows? If people come up with some interesting things, then I'm more than happy to take a flight around the areas they suggest. This here is, so Hastings is a bit odd because it's split in St Leonard's on one side, and then you get halfway along and it becomes Hastings. So I think, yeah, so here is where Hastings Pier should sit, I believe. You can't see it here, which might have something to do with the fact it was actually burnt down a few years back. I think they're either in the process of rebuilding it or it has already been rebuilt. So in terms of when this is recorded, this is actually recorded on the evening of launch day. I had it all ready to go this morning, but life just gets too busy sometimes. By the time it's been edited and uploaded to YouTube, you're probably looking more at the Wednesday morning, so Wednesday the 20th, and it will probably be a similar story come Thursday when the next Train Simulator World comes out. Train Simulator World 2 comes out then. Actually, that might have still been Bexhill back then. I might have got mixed up on where I was. So yeah, the likelihood is that although I will play it and record it on launch day, you'll probably see me driving trains the following day. Right, there's Lydd. Let's tune on the tower. Yeah, I think this might actually be Bexhill here, so I was a lot further back than I thought I was. If not, this is Hastings. Quite possibly could be. Who knows where I am at the moment. we'll see. If anyone actually has any better ideas and can point out landmarks and pop in a timestamp in the comments, I'd be more than happy for that to happen. I'll even have a look back at it. If you've got the time for it. Don't blame me if you don't. So if this, there we go, so this is definitely Hastings now. There's the pier down there. And then if we come in close down here, there's actually some trolley car railways, or whatever you like to call them, coming up the cliff. I'm interested to see whether or not they have actually been put in. Whether we can see them. There's one. Just about. There's another one over there, I think. That might be it there. Right. We will request full stop landing now. I'm 14 miles southwest, so I need to be heading northeast. Enter left traffic runway 21. So let's push D now and see where it takes us.
Cessna 271, please acknowledge.
Oh, okay, better acknowledge. They're getting grumpy with me. I'm heading directly north now. So instead, I need to head northeast. So let's. So it's actually. So apparently, the runways, when they say 21, that means 21 degrees. So we would be looking at heading of about that, I would imagine, is the way that runway runs. Now I know it's somewhere near the coastline, so I'm going to keep going this way, hope for the best. Might get a better view outside, see what I can find. Right, request direction.
Cessna 271 airport is 1 o'clock, 12 miles.
1 o'clock, 12 miles. So 1 o'clock is about there, I think, is what they're telling me. It's in about 12 miles time. Start slowing it down for a little bit of a descent. What 12 miles is, I don't know if that's nautical miles or whether they're talking about actual miles. That's it. Who knows? We will find out. I don't think that is it. Let's request direction again. 2 o'clock. $11 miles. I haven't even covered that much ground. So this is going to be interesting. In my experience of Flight Simulator 98, I could take off, I could never land. Every time I tried, my plane would just break to bits. So chances are, so on this you don't actually have any crash mechanics as far as I'm aware. From what I've looked up, there's no crash mechanics other than you crash, it goes to a black screen and tells you you've crashed. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Tower Cessna 271 is unfamiliar with the area. Request directions to the airport.
1 o'clock. 10 miles. So I'm going about a mile at a time before I ask them. Not too much of a hassle. That way I'm getting a fairly good grip on where I'm going. So for those of you unaware of what I'm actually doing here, I'm just following this compass, and I think 1 o'clock's about the 3-degree mark. Not overly sure. I think that's how to read it. Makes sense to me that would be about where 1 o'clock would sit on the map if north was 12 o'clock. On the map? Did I say on the map? I meant on the clock. There you go. Alright. Again, see where we are. 9 miles. 2 o'clock. There you go. You can see a lot of what do you call these things? Windmills in the distance. Must be a very green area for power. So I've never actually been to Lydd. I've been to Shoreham. I've actually been to the airport in Shoreham. Being that it's not a international airport, you can actually get quite close to the airfield itself. You can sort of there's sort of about a waist height fence that you can peer over and almost touch the aircraft on the other side. Try again. 1 o'clock and 7 miles. Getting the occasional frame rate drop, but it's not overly bad. Bearing in mind the detail in this game, actually I'm doing alright with frame rate. I'm not losing too much, he says. I wonder if frame rate gets worse the closer to the ground you are. If that's the case, it's not going to bode well for landing. Give it another. Three o'clock. Way over there then. In the east, and checking out the horizon, hoping to see where I'm going, but honestly, I'd be very surprised if I make this on a first attempt, or even have it lined up to the runway properly. See if I'm actually facing the right direction now. 1 o'clock, 6 miles. Zigzagging all over the place. Some of the aircraft on this game actually come with sat-navs, or yeah, I think that's sat-navs. I don't know what the aviation equivalent is. As you can probably tell, I'm not a pilot. this is good fun, but... And if I'm honest, kind of wish I could actually fly in real life. It's unfortunate I can't. Let's have another look.
Cessna 271 airport is
3 o'clock, 6 miles. Still 6 miles. So I know roughly this area, and in reality it really is just about this bland. Just goes on for miles, just absolutely flat.
271 cleared to land runway 21. Wind 271 at tree.
Unlocked an achievement there. Clear to land on runway 21. Well, that would be interesting, let's acknowledge, if I could find where I was going.
Cessna 271 airport is 1 o'clock, 5 miles.
So now well, not quite at 1 o'clock, but I don't know if I believe it anymore, because it's zigzagging me everywhere. Maybe I'm not following it right. 4 o'clock, 5 miles. Is it from my relative position? So if I go from there, request direction, 2 o'clock, so that would be almost to the south. So am I actually going completely the wrong way and then prolonging my inevitable demise? Have another go. It's 1 o'clock. To the south. 4 miles. So yeah, I completely had that wrong in how I was doing that. So it's actually to my relative position, not from where north is. Well, now I know. What that is. Strange. Give it another go. I think this looks airporty over there. 10 o'clock. One, 2, 3. Have I passed it? Go north and then see what happens. One, 2, 3. Oh, it's alright, 3 miles, not 3 o'clock. 4, 5. Getting so close, I just don't want to miss this airport now. 1 o'clock. To the south. Bouncy. $11 o'clock, so actually instead of going all the way around like I just did, what I need to do is this. 3 miles. I don't know, seems quite close to me. Maybe not in this style of aircraft. Just seems a little bit too close for comfort to actually negotiate the runway and actually get pointing in the right direction. Because 21 degrees is a bit. It's 10 degrees roughly in that direction. Oh, there it is. I see it, I see it. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass it, looking out. There's the runway, look. Right, so if I'm supposed to go for 21, if I go over that way, if I pass the runway, there's runway 21. Go that sort of direction, I'll take another pass at it. Think all the way out there, that might even be Dover. Not sure. Maybe that's maybe Dover would be a bit too far away, but potentially. Where is it? There it is. No. Feel like I'm coming in a bit too fast. If anyone actually knows anything about flying and would like to give me some tips, I am not at all worried about. Oh, here we go. We'll see what happens. I think I should have used some flap. I'm not sure. Ah, look at that. I made it. Brakes, brakes, brakes. Telling me to turn into taxiway. So I've actually got this to acknowledge the ground handoff. Request taxi to parking, so I can actually park this thing. We'll see. Oh look, there it is. That's exactly where they want me to park. Just there. It's handy. Not too far away. I'm more than happy to go for that. I think I'm supposed to be following that line. But no, we're just down for that. Oh, try not to run the man over. There we go. I'm in. Oh, I should probably acknowledge that. Because, you know. So, handbrake on. What has happened here? Oh, I think it's because the box. Yep, it's just the box. It's not a glitch. No, it's a box. Right, I have no idea how to turn this thing off. So I'm going to leave it there and figure that out off camera. So I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, then give us a like. Also consider subscribing for more flight simulator content, as well as bus simulator, Eurotruck simulator, and train simulator content, all coming sometime in the near future. And until next time, thanks for watching.